This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, hi everyone. Today we'll see a new concept in IBM MQ, how to configure client and server setup, and also how to configure one-way SSL to the client and server setup. Okay, let us see how to configure the client and server. First of all, let me configure the client and server setup. Let me show you, for example, I have a queue manager. Let us assume I have a queue manager here. My queue manager name, let us assume my queue manager name is here. For example, I'm taking my queue manager name as server QM. Server QM. And I want to create some components. As you know, I need to create a local queue for holding the messages. Let me show. Let me take a new queue. I need to create a local queue for holding the messages. Okay. Choose. I want to create a local queue for holding the messages, and we need to create a receiver channel on server side. Sorry, on server connection channel we need to be created, and also we need to create the listener. Let me create these components on my server side. Okay, let us assume my queue name is here receive queue, and I am taking my server connection channel name as 2.serverqm, and my listener name I am taking as serverqm dot lstr, and my port number I am taking as 14116 is my port number. Okay, let me create these components on server side. I have two components. One, my local machine I am taking as my client, and AWS in server I create on EC2 instances. EC2 instances I am taking one as my server. Already in my server MQQ manage already just I installed already in MQ. Currently, let us assume I installed my MQ version is here 9.2 version, and let me create a queue manager first. CRT my queue manager name is here server queue. And let's start my queue manager strmqm server queue. Let me start my queue manager. Now you see my queue manager gets a running status. Now go inside queue manager and see the create the components. Define queue local of receive queue for holding the messages. Define channel of channel name. My channel name is here 2 dot server QM. Channel type is here server con channel. And create the listener. Define listener of my listener name is here server queue. Any name you can take. I have taken as per diagram. My name I am taking as okay fine. My channel name is here as per diagram. Listener, my listener name is here server qm dot lstr, and trp type tcp, and the port of, let us assume my port number is here 1416, and you can give control of qm here. Listener will start automatically along with your queue manager whenever server queue manager got restarted. Let me first time start the listener server qm dot lstr. Check the listener status is running or not. My listener status here server qm dot lstr. We are good. My listener is in running status. Local queue is ready. Server connection channel is ready. Listener created. Listener started. Now listener is on running status. Okay, all these components are ready as of now. Next, what we need to create on client side, either you can set an MQ environmental variable or you can use a CCDT file. I am using CCDT file. This is, let us assume this is my client. This is a client we have to configure. On client side, we need to create a CCD. Either you can create CCD file on queue manager level, and you can send that CCD file to the client. అంటే మీరు CCDT ఫైల్ ని సర్వర్ లో క్రియేట్ చేసి క్లయింట్ సైడ్ కానీ పంపించవచ్చు, ఆర్ అదర్వైజ్ there is a command we have already. Let me delete my old CCDT file. By default you can see my old CCDT file will be on C program data IBM MQ. My old let me delete my old CCDT file. I have an old CCDT file. Okay. On go to the client side, just give the command run mqsc-n. What it is going to do? It is going to create a CCDT file By default, it is going to create CCDT file in program data folder. Wherever the program data folder is, in that folder with the name of amqclch.fl అంటే మీరు రన్ ఎంక్యూఐసి ఐఫన్ ఎన్ని ఇచ్చారంటే ఏదర్ మీరు పాత్ అయినా సెట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు ఆర్ అదర్వైజ్ మీకు ఆటోమేటిక్ ఏమైందంటే బై డిఫాల్ట్ డేటా పాత్ ఎక్కడైతే ఉందో సి ప్రోగ్రామ్ డేటా ఐబిఎం ఎంక్యూ ఎక్కడైతే ఉందో అక్కడ మీకు డిఫాల్ట్ సిసిడి ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ అయింది అండ్ క్లయింట్ కనెక్షన్ ఛానల్ క్రియేట్ చేయండి డిఫైన్ ఛానల్ ఆఫ్ ఛానల్ నేమ్ మై ఛానల్ నేమ్ ఈస్ హియర్ 2 డాట్ సర్వర్ క్యూఎం ఛానల్ టైప్ క్లయింట్ కనెక్షన్ name of my IP address. My queue manager's IP address. This is my queue manager's IP address, and my port number is 1416. And QM name of I want to connect to the queue manager. You can provide the queue manager name or group. You can provide there. Now server connection channel is ready. Now try to put and get the messages. Okay, we have to set the environment variables, right? We can see now one more CCD file will be created in this path. Refresh. Currently there is no, we can see CCD file is created successfully. Now you have to set two MQ environmental variables. One MQ environment, we need to create a client connection channel, and after that we need to set two MQ environment. First MQ environment variable is MQCHL lib equal to the path, which path our MQ software is, or MQ CCD file is there. Currently my CCD file is located in this path. You have to provide that path. MQCHL tab equal to provide the file name. You can see amqclchl.tab. amqclchl.tab. Go to MQ environment variables. Either in Linux you can use exports command and we can set it out. Now environmental variables, I want to create two environmental variables. Sorry. One environment variable is mqchlib. mqchlib, the path. This is the path where my CCD file is located. And one more MQ environment variable mqchl.tab. mqchl.tab. File name is amq, or otherwise you can directly copy and paste the file name. If you get confused, you can directly copy and paste. Okay, go here. You can see F2. Now we can see. Okay, you can just copy. Give the complete file name here. You can give or you can copy and paste. AMQ mqchl.tab. Okay, we are good. I'm good. I'm good. Now just verify whether my environment variables are configured or not. Now go to again open and close command prompt. Either you can open as administrator or normal, anything is fine. The client and server setup. Echo percentage mq chl lib. C program in this path my CCD file is located. My CCD file name is here. You can see the CCD. My CCD amqclchl.tab is my CCD file. Now we are good. Now try to put the messages. AMQS put C because it is a client application. I want to put messages and receive queue. My queue manager name is here server QM. Mostly we get 2035 error. Means you have to give the permissions to the user. This is my user ID. First check in the client side that user is located, present or not, created or not. ID like sh. You can see my user is created successfully, and you can give the permissions at mqaut hyphen m my queue manager name is here server qm hyphen t type qm. First give the permissions to queue manager. Yes, I'm giving all permissions as of now. Give the full queue level permissions also. You can see if you try to put the messages, your application will be able to connect to the previously while connecting to queue manager itself will get the error connection level. But now we are able to connect, our application is able to connect to the queue manager, but it is unable to put the messages on the unable to open the queue, receive queue. Now we have to give the permissions for receive queue also. So mqaut hyphen m my queue manager name is server qm hyphen n receive queue hyphen t object type queue hyphen p username. You can give all permissions. That's fine. Now try to put and get them, and now you can see, right? Now I am able to put the messages successfully. Try to get the messages. AMQS get C receive queue, server queue. Now I am able to put and I am able to get the messages from the queue successfully. Okay, now client and server setup is happened successfully. Now the client is able to put the messages on queue manager and the client is able to get the messages on the queue manager. Client and server setup is done successfully. Now I want to implement SSL, one way SSL, not two way SSL. Now I want to implement one way SSL on this setup. First of all, you know the components, what components we need to create in queue manager level. First of all, in queue manager level, we need to create a key database. First, I need to create a key database we need to create. Let me create a key database to the queue manager where you can go. By default, SSL path is located in where MQM queue managers. My queue manager name is server QM, and there is a folder called SSL by default. Currently, there are zero files are there. Now I want to create a key database. Already I have given some commands here. Let me show that commands. Let me open my notepad. Okay, fine. Here are the commands. This is the command to create a key database. I'll give all these commands in the comment section. You can download that commands. Whenever you want to create any MQ level key database, this is the command used to create a key database. For example, let me create my key database here. We are good. Let us assume my key database name is here. My key database I am taking as server qm.kdb. Now my key database is created successfully. Let me show ls-lrth. Generally, it contains the stash file. This is a key database, and this is a STH is a stash file where our password information will get saved. The RDB is the relational database file. Okay, now key database created. After that, we need to create a CSR. We have the command to create the CSR. Let me show you. This is the command I am taking to create the CSR. Okay, let me copy and paste. Let me show you this command. Run mqckm hyphen I am requesting a CSR set request hyphen create db and my key database name is here server qm.kdb. We can use same thing here and give the proper password and label name. Generally, IBM recommends to give the label name should be IBM WebSphere MQ followed by Q manager name server QM. Why? Because whenever you create the queue manager, by default, set label will take this name only. I will show you later that one. IBM WebSphere MQ, my queue manager server queue. DN value. You know the DN value, right? I have taken some small example of DN value. Let us assume my DM name I am taking as SBI, Retail Bank of India, State Bank of India, some SBA project DN I have taken. Whatever the DM name required, you can provide the DM name or DN name over there. On my file name I am taking as any name you can take. For example, my file name is here server qm.csr and keep enter. Now my CSR is ready. Now generally we need to provide the CSR to the third party, like whoever third party is Dizzy or Verizon, GoDaddy. ఏ కంపెనీ అయితే మీకు సర్టిఫికేట్స్ ఇస్తారో వాళ్ళకి మీరు ఈ సిఎస్ఆర్ ఫైల్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలి. కరెంట్లీ వీ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ థర్డ్ పార్టీస్ రైట్ ఫర్ ప్రాక్టీస్ పర్పస్ అండ్ దెర్ ఈస్ ఎ కంపెనీ కాల్డ్ this is only for practice purpose guys, we are not use real time this signers. There is a company called GetAcert. Open this. If you give certificate to them, they will provide the root and sign in certificate to us. But real time, this is normal text string purpose. We are using all these things. Let me give here. Let me copy more server qm dot csr. Let me take small letters. My keep enter. Just copy and paste the certificate. Just copy and paste. Submit CSR. GetAcert company will provide the main. This is the my main certificate. This is my personal certificate, and this is the root certificate of Get a company. Generally, in real time, what we get right, we'll get root, intermediate, and personal certificate. But this is a sample program, right? They will provide only root certificate. If you want, you can get the personal in real time. You'll get that personal certificates. Okay, let me by using WinSCP. Let me copy this both software. This is one. Let me copy this and this to separate folders separately. Or else, let me delete all these things. Let me download once again. We are good. We are good. Okay. We can see this too. Let me create a folder separately Create new folder. SSL underscore today is 13. Okay. Let me create this folder and let me copy this both truth in this folder. Good. Now I have to copy these two certificates to my client side. Open Windows EP. Take my host name. My host name is here. Okay, we are good. We are good here. Using Windows EP. Okay, I have to do this one. Okay. Yes, my SSL underscore 13 is my folder. We are good. Let me copy both the certificates to my temp directory. We are good. If anything is there with that name, let me delete previous files in my temp directory to make everything clear. Okay. Okay. Let me copy this too. Okay, I have copied my root certificate and person certificate here. Okay, we are good. Let me copy from here CPI for now. I have a copy to temp, get a certificate to here, and also person certificate also here. Now we are good. Now next we need to add the first of all we need to add the root certificate to the key database. The command already I have given. This is the command to add the root certificate to the key database. Just copy and paste this command. Run mqckm. My key database, you have to provide the correct key database name and password should be correct. My key database name is this and password is okay and file name is here. This is my root certificate name. And label name can be anything. For example, my label name I am taking as queue manager name root. Server QM root and format of ASCII and keep enter. Now my root certificate is added successfully. And let me receive the personal certificate now once again. This is the command to receive the personal certificate. My key database name is here. My key database name is here. Server QM. My certificate name is here. My personal certificate name is here. Keep enter. Now validation is successful. Now we have to verify before going to the next step. Just verify whether the certificates are added properly or not. You can go here, go and check. My key database name is here. My key database name is here. This is my key database name. And keep enter. Now you can see I have two certificates in my key database. Whenever you got some SSL issues, right? First step, what we need to see, right? First, we need to validate the certificates, whether they are properly validated or not. Once the validation is completed, if you want to see what are the details, expiry details, etc., we can see by using this certificates command. This is the command. We can check it out. You can see, and this is my key database name. My key database name is serverqm.kdb and my label name is here. You have to provide the label name. I want to see person certificate details and keep you and label name. Server queue. We are good here and keep enter. We can see right expiry details, everything we can get all these things. Okay, fine. Now server side it is completed. Now what details we need? We have to change some paths also. Just copy this path. In queue manager level, we have to save some paths. Run MQSC, server QM, display QMGR. We can see SSL key path. Alter QMGR, SSL KUIR. We have to provide the correct where our key database is located. My key database name is server QM. This is the path where my key data. No need to give the .kdb extension. By default, you search for .kdb. This is my key database extension. We are good. And next channel level, we have to change some properties. Display channel of channel m2 dot server queue. Alter channel of channel m2 dot server QM. Channel type is here. Server con. My channel name is here. Server con channel. Server con channel. And have to give SSL cyberspec value. Algorithm name. Let me give my algorithm name. What it is there? I have shown. This is my algorithm name. Currently, we are using this algorithm. Let me take this algorithm here. We are good. Okay, this is my algorithm. And refresh the security. Refresh security type of SSL. Now try to connect from the client side, it will throw an error. If you try to put the messages now, it will throw an error. 2393 MQRC 2393. Still SSL initialization error. Now we are doing this is one-way SSL. One-way SSL means the client side certificates you don't need to create any key database, any certificates you don't need to create. Just the server will provide complete SSL folder. A key database ఏదైతే మీరు క్రియేట్ చేశారో ఆ కీ డేటాబేస్ ఓన్లీ యూ క్యాన్ ప్రొవైడ్ దట్ కీ డేటాబేస్ ఫైల్ టు ద క్లయింట్ ఆటోమేటికల్ దే క్యాన్ కనెక్ట్ either you can provide the key database or you can provide the complete folder, anything is fine. For example, go inside, we have SSL folder here. I'm copying SSL folder to temp folder as of now. cp-r SSL folder to temp directory. Okay, let me go here, refresh. Now my SSL folder is ready. Let me download to the client side this one. Okay, now my SSL is ready. Now we can see. Okay, skip for CSR not required anything. Oh, something is not coming, no issues. We have to change the permissions. Let me change the permissions. chmod ifr 7752 to SSL folder. Refresh. Now let me delete previous one. Let me try to once again download this. Okay. We are good. Now you can see I have seen my SSL folder here. Now client side you need to set one MQ environment variable, and the client side you need to say where my key database is located. Why? Because in queue manager level we already informed key database is located in this path. Let me show you this. Display QMGR. You can show my key database is located in this path. But in client side you have to set an MQ environmental variable. Environmental variable, right? This environmental variable, create new environmental variable, and we have to keep this one. Okay, let me show that the key database name is mqssl keyer. I think this is the property. Yes, we have to give this property mqssl keyer. Yeah, give us this one. My key database is located. My key database is located in this path. in this part. Where my key database located? My key database name is here. Its name is server QM. No need to give .kdb. Search fine. We are good. We are good. Now try to go inside. Again, we have to enter into that CCT file. Display channel of two dot client connection channel. Open the client connection channel, and you have to alter the cyberspec. Same cyberspec value you have to provide. Alter channel of channel name two dot server QM channel type PCR client connection channel. I have to provide the cyberspec value. You can see here SSL cyberspec value. Give the same algorithm. My algorithm name is here. This is my algorithm name. We are good. And I think refresh, no need to refresh. Now try to put the messages. Even still you get that error. Oh, I think it will get same error again. Server QM. Still we get same error. A new error. I think this is 2381. Key repository error. Okay, let me see the key repository error before. Okay, let me see echo percentage MQSSL key R. Okay, still it is not. Just close and open the command prompt once again. Just one open the command prompt once again. Now check environment variable set or not. MQSSL key R. Yeah, now we are getting. Now key database is found successfully. Now try to put the messages. I want to put message in receive queue which sits in server QM. Still we'll get 2393 error because it is one-way SSL. We need to alter this property. Alter channel of channel name 2 dot server QM channel type server con channel, and next we need to provide SSL. It's a property called SSL auth. Okay, SSL auth. SSL auth. By default it is required. We have to make it as optional. By default it will be required. And after that refresh the security. Refresh security type of SSL. Now refresh security is refresh. Now try to put the messages. Now try to put the messages. You can see, right? I'm able to put the messages. How are you? Bye bye. Now try to get the messages also. AMQS get C receive Q server Q. Now I am able to put the messages. I am able to get the messages with SSL. This is the one-way SSL. In one-way SSL, either client side or server side, we are going to create the key database certificate and everything. The other party, whoever not created, we are going to share the key database file, list of certificates to them. That's all. In 2ASL, both the parties are going to create both certificates, both are going to be exchange each other, like how we do in DQM concept, right? Same thing we have to do. Now you can see my client connection came, my client connection is running successfully. You can see here 2 dot server QM, you can see. As of now, it is not running. Whenever you try to put the messages, it will come into running status. You can see now it came to running status. We are good on that part. Now, client and server setup is completed successfully by using SSL, one-way SSL. Whenever you are using a one-way SSL, right, must and should you have to keep SSL auth value as option. Otherwise, the setup will not allow. SSL auth value must and should be optional. And next, whenever you're getting some client side 2393 error or some errors you are getting, for example, ఇక్కడ 2393 ఎర్రర్ వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, మీకు కంపల్సరీ పాత్రలోకి వెళ్ళాల్సి వస్తుంది. మీకు ఏ పాత్రలోకి వెళ్తారు మీరు? సర్టిఫికేట్స్ ఏ పాత్ర ఉన్నాయి, ఇన్ దిస్ పాత్ మై సర్టిఫికేట్స్ ఆర్ లొకేటెడ్. యూ హ్యావ్ టు గివ్ దిస్ కమాండ్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, వ్యాలిడేషన్. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ వ్యాలిడేషన్ నీడ్ టు బి చెక్డ్ అవుట్. మీరు ప్రాపర్గా కీ డేటాబేస్ కరెక్ట్గా పాయింట్ అవుట్ అవుతుందా లేదా. Next point, once key database is pointed, certificates are validated or not. You can use this command, right? You can use dir and my key database name is here. So my key database name is here. This is my key database name. Hyphen. You can enter. it should be valid. If you want to see the details of that particular certificate, again you have to use this command. ఆ డీటెయిల్స్ అన్ని చెక్ చేసుకుని ఎక్స్పైర్ అవుతుందా లేదా, కరెక్ట్గా కీ డేటాబేస్ పాయింట్ అవుతుందా లేదా, సర్టిఫికేట్స్ ప్రాపర్గా యాడ్ చేశారా లేదా, బోత్ ద పార్టీస్ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ ద సేమ్ సర్టిఫికేట్స్. వన్ వే ఎస్ఎస్ఎల్లో ఆ కీ డేటాబేస్లో సేమ్ సర్టిఫికేట్స్ ఉండాలి. ఏమైనా మిస్ అయితే యాడ్ చేయాలి. లేబుల్ నేమ్ కరెక్ట్గా ఉండాలి. లేబుల్ నేమ్ ఎక్కడ ఉపయోగిస్తారంటే మీకు చూసి బై డిఫాల్ట్ ఇఫ్ యూ సీ హియర్ display QM here, there is a property called cert label. You can see here. Whenever you created a queue manager, by default certificate label name is IBM WebSphere MQ followed by queue manager. Hence, while creating that queue manager, I have provided the same label name. ఇక్కడ సేమ్ లేబుల్ నేమ్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేసాం మనం క్యూ మేనేజర్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు. మీరు చూడవచ్చు ఇక్కడ హిస్టరీ పైప్ సింబల్ గ్రెప్ లేబుల్ previous command check చేసి while creating this command I provided my label name as IBM WebSphere MQ. IBM WebSphere MQ followed by Queue Manager name. While creating certificate, if you change the label name in Queue Manager level also you have to change the label name. Certificate label name and Queue Manager level cert label name should be matched. ఆ రెండు మ్యాచ్ అయితేనే వర్కౌట్ అవుతుంది, లేకపోతే వర్కౌట్ అవుతుంది. Okay, this is the way how you can configure MQSSL between client and server with SSL configuration. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to paste these comments everything in the chat window. Please do practice these sessions. Thank you guys. Bye bye.